my god. Okay, so sorry guys.
You're fine. We're off and starting. Yeah, we're off and running.
But like we were saying, Doodle, very great player. Obviously, like as a roller, competes in the online CTM tournaments. Made it to the gold bracket last year and the year before, so definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Ellen Fat saying Doodle isn't 12 years old. Bro was. It's kind of weird how people age. I think that's.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that to make fun of you. It's just kind of like I feel like a few years ago, it's like, oh, Dog, the boy wonder, right? Now he's like a grizzled veteran about to graduate high school. Yeah.
Even like Scooty, like his voice has gotten so deep now.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's just like getting a lot older now. Time really flies.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to just kind of like watch people. I am like gonna like be like an old person for a second. It's like cool to watch people grow up a little bit.
Yeah, no.
Kind of doing it with them. Dillan off to an early lead here. About a few Tetrises up. As AVGeek kind of resolving the result of a few missed drops. Doodle up by a Tetris and a half down at the bottom, so we're off and running.
Eren having to deal with a little bit of a weird thing in his board, but gets the right pieces to resolve that. And so it's going to be completely fine.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of, again, Eren is one of the few tappers in the gold bracket. Got 9 max outs in his qualifier and a very high 900.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I actually was I was actually his qualifying referee.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, and I witnessed that, and it was insane just seeing him just have mastery over level 18 and 19. It's just
and it's kind of thing, if you're a tapper, you're going to have to push the score up on 18 if you want to get those maxes.
Yeah. And hopefully that's something that he can use as an advantage. Because, again, Doodle, as a roller, does have that kill screen.
Yeah, you didn't have a bad qual yourself, looks like.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah, I did. I had a qualifier.
Yeah, you did So I'll be excited to watch you play later today. So these two tappers, right? So they're no joke. Dillan, 9 max outs. Kind of the 1.4. 11 max outs. Sorry.
Dillan got 11 max outs.
Double-digit number of max outs in qual. Eren with 1.3 tappers. So those are some numbers.
Yeah, but being able to get a 1.4 million with tap is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
The first person to have gotten that being Joseph. It wasn't even recorded, and it took so long for someone else to get another one. So this Dillan being able to play on kill screen, get that 1.4 million is a big deal.
Yeah, no, totally. Any tapper who can squeeze something out on kill screen, right? While during the tapper era, people still thought the kill screen was the kill screen, right? Or they still was, right?
Yes,
so,
exactly.
But it's incredible how much players are still pushing these other play styles forward. You got the Pixel Andy, 29 play on DAS.
Yes.
We got ourselves a very tight game here at the bottom. They're trading the lead at the moment. Up at the top, Dillan holding on to a pretty big lead, 6 figures.
Yeah.
But AVGeek has gotten clean, and she is scoring.
Yeah, it looks like actually kind of a big theme with Dillan. Having witnessed what he did last year, getting back-to-back 1.3 million with tapping.
Yeah.
It really seems like he's got that level 18 and 19. That is just so comfortable for him. He's got that completely on lock.
And just look at this now.
Yeah. And it looks like that's sort of what is showing right now. 513 already before 100 lines is where Dillan's at right now. What a insane efficiency. Look at that 88% Tetris rate for Dillan. With a over 100,000 point lead over AVGeek, who is playing a pretty good game, but she's just being outmatched by probably the best tapper right now. And Eren a little bit upset that I didn't call him the best tapper, but Eren is still a pretty good tapper. And yeah, Eren and I have known each other for a while, so like we do a lot of banter.
Yeah. We're pushing to the first transition here. Dillan, 631. Look at this.
Yeah. What a game for Dillan right now.
Has room for one more. Eren's in at 540. AVGeek in at 501. Recovered very nicely, but Dillan is
677 transition.
Incredible stuff.
Wow. With tapping too.
This is so good.
Our highest transition today, and it isn't even a roller.
Yeah.
It's a hyper tapper.
No kidding. Yeah. So. Yeah, the advantage at rollers still have a stick advantage at 18, right?
Yes.
It may not be like about as much as they would have on a 19 or 29, but like they can still zip pieces over up top. They can set up for a little more. They can kind of delay the, delay burning just a little bit longer. But this is incredible.
That is kind of an uncomfortable stack at the bottom for Eren. Gonna have to burn this down.
A little bit of a low left for Doodle is going to result in a dig. Lombard triple. Left side is not exactly clean. Dillan, kind of a little bit of a jam. Could be a chance for AVGeek to make up some of this deficit.
Gets that T barely over. Yeah. If that didn't make it, that would have been a top out for Dillan, most likely.
But he's got, he is
my God,
world famous tapper. Lombard
beautiful.
Tetris, holding on to a good sized lead here. AVGeek did eat into it a little bit at the top. Doodle has developed a 1 Tetris lead on a match that's been very tight the whole time.
Yeah.
This game, not match.
Doodle not able to capitalize that much on that little dig that Eren was in.
Yeah. So less than a Tetris between the two. Doodle couldn't quite get that J over, but Lombard Tetris not going to matter.
Eren also actually like a few lines in the future, so that lead for Doodle is actually a little bit. But that misdrop for Doodle.
Misdrop Doodle. It's going to result on Berg, but it's not going to be dangerous. He's able to score. He's going to look at the stack down.
Yeah.
AVGeek has been taking some very smart burns and has been playing pretty well on
19. Look.
The S doesn't get over, so she's in a bit of a bind. Going to get the next one. Left side looking a little spicy. Doesn't get the over.
It's going to be done. And Dillan is good for game number 1 with a
GG's
950 on level 26.
What a game from Dillan.
Wow.
AVGeek had to play aggressively to catch up.
And it was just Dillan was too far ahead.
Yeah. Down the bottom, neither player clean. Doodle with about a 50,000 point lead with Tetris and a half at this level. We're at the point where like scaling really starts to matter.
Yeah. Doodle gets that dirty Tetris. And another one.
Eren's still okay. Let's go ahead and count the top top match down for game number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. In the meantime, Eren has gotten it to 29, 849. Doodle at 955, and he's about to go in as well. 958. So let's see what Eren can do on the kill screen. So far, so good.
Made it pieces to the left.
Yeah, made it to level 30. Needs something to that left side. Not going to try with the bar. He's fighting it.
And no, that lead is too substantial for Doodle.
GG's. Doodle will take game number 1, but Eren, fantastic game there. Doodle, he made Doodle work for it.
Yeah, masterful 29 play for Eren there as a tapper.
Yeah.
Wow.
A little bit of a dry start to the first game, 28-piece drought, but the bar does come.
Yep.
AVGeek set up for a couple, but still trailing by just a tad.
Yeah, neck and neck right now. But again, it is early, and we've seen Dillan kind of capable of kind of pulling away. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. So both of these, we talked about with the classic.
Nice fits.
Yeah.
Okay, and
So,
okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and count down the bottom for game number 2 in 3, 2,
2,
1. Tetris.
Tetris.
All right, Bar and Jay will start things off at the top. Dillan up by about a Tetris. Close one here so far. Lombard Tetris for AVGeek, 129 to 169.
And it looks like Dillan is starting to build a little bit of a lead.
Yeah. Just the 18 efficiency for him is incredible.
Yeah. Like, as a hyper tapper, like, imagine what he could do if he theoretically was a roller, but I don't know if he's gonna, like, switch anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nice.
you're doing great anyways.
Heist Online in chat. That's a familiar name. How's it going?
Yes. Welcome in, Heist Online.
Yeah. So this is actually, AVGeek. This is her first time in the gold bracket, so she has made it to the. She made it pretty far in the silver with Das last year.
Yes, yes. Showing that Das is not dead. Like,
Yeah, Das ain't dead. And Dillan made it to the top 16. What has been, quite a run. Like one of the most memorable things of last year's
Yes.
CTWC was.
yeah, one of
Dillan's
the
run.
most insane matches of all time in the top 32.
Yeah.
Getting that back-to-back 1.3 million with hyper tapping, which has not been heard of, not even close. Like, and to do that on the biggest stage is just out of this world. So we'll see if that's something that he keeps up here this year. No pressure though.
Up at the top, Dillan at 356, AVGeek at 302, make that 324. So lead for Dillan, but one or two Tetrises, mild to moderate.
Yeah.
Down the bottom, Eren 173, Doodle 188. They're trading the lead, and there's a bit of a drought.
And it looks like Eren.
Tetris.
Yeah, Eren gets that Tetris first, and Doodle immediately followed it, but it is neck and neck at the bottom.
Bottom are two CTWC veterans at the bottom.
Yep.
Eren's made every single one since
The COVID era.
2020. Yeah, so it's been in fact made
And it's still.
Doodle made the last two. Made one of their first. So.
Yeah. And I actually remember Eren was kind of like one of the rising stars back in the COVID era.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, when he got that, like, max out, like, got a lot of max outs in that qual. I don't remember the exact number, but he got a lot. And a lot of people were just very impressed by how well he was able to play, how just his skill with the hyper tapping. And it looks like he is sort of showing it off here. Not quite the first game, but it is still got a lot of time. And he is keeping up with Doodle, so you never know.
AVGeek stack looking very vertical. Gets a bar, that's going to result in dependency, but she still has a ways to go to get this clean.
And
Dillan, another really strong pace for Dillan. Not quite as good as last game, but still very, very strong. There's been a lot fewer bars this game, I think. 528 to 420.
Yeah. Oh, and I was just gonna mention that, like, we can see that efficiency from Dillan, like, is taking so much of an advantage over AVGeek by just with that one, like, dig from AV. Now he's ahead by over 100,000 points.
That's true, yeah. But, AVGeek does have that, rolling. She has the ability to play on 29, so that's going on. Dirty Tetris, both players are in 563 to 455. Down to the bottom, still a very close game.
Yes. But at the 400K mark, before 100 lines, that is aiming for a high 500K transition for both of them. So really, really good start for the bottom match.
Yeah, another very close. The last game was close. This one's close. I think we're in for a treat here.
Yeah, and actually, I would just like to mention, like you were talking about AVGeek with that 29 play. Remember that Dillan has that too. Dylan was able to get the level 29 to the 1.3s on the kill screen.
Yeah, he's
got like 1 or 2 Tetrises.
Yeah, especially if he can kind of get set up on the right. I think last game he was kind of forced into a left well where he couldn't quite, the tapping couldn't quite get that bar over. But, he can score once he, if he can go into 28 with a really clean stack, he can make some noise there.
Yes.
5:56 to 7:11 at the top, so Dillan kind of extending his lead, but AVGeek is clean and scoring. Down at the bottom, we're getting pretty close to transition. 5:17 to 5:29. Doodle holding on to just a little bit of a lead, but they're trading it, so.
Yeah, just a small lead.
Yeah, so small pace lead, I would say, when the leads are about equal. 1 Tetris to go for both players. Eren will get it first. 5:65 is the transition score.
Doodle at 5:75 with one more Tetris left to go.
Yeah,
could
like
get the
transition just shy of. Oh, he
just shy
at 5:78. We like a bar, multiple dependencies here.
And perfect bar timing there. He's gonna be clean. And there we go, another bar for Doodle at 6:05.
6:05, 600. There is like nothing separated the two, except for maybe 6 lines. Up at the top, we're over halfway through post. AVGeek gets a Tetris, 7:68. There's a Tetris for Dillan, 9:24. Another very strong pace.
Oh no, but look at the bottom. Eren is in a lot of trouble.
Okay, Eren, very high stack. Gets the well reopened.
He needs a bar right now.
Very rough left side. And it's going to result in a bit of a bind.
Needs it.
He's not going to get the bar. That's it. Eren will top out at 6:10. Doodle is good for game number 2. Moves up to match point. GG's.
And over at the top, Dillan is about to max out into level 27.
There we go. Beautiful stuff from Dillan.
Ahead by 100,000 points. And
Dillan.
And AVGeek can get the max out before level 29. So
she'll need some kill stream play here.
Dillan just showing us that he is a world-class player with hyper tapping.
Both players less than a Tetris away from 29.
Oh my god.
1.1.
Dylan setting up in the center, probably wants to get 2 or more.
Yeah, see this from a DAS player. Lombard Tetris, 11:47 is the transition score for Dillan, 9:70 for AVGeek. AVGeek set up, takes the safe triple.
And
very big lead for Dillan. Both players at the level 30 now.
But
AVGeek getting set up. We'll have to take a few birds here, but she handles it no problem. Dillan's road is rising. He's not going to be able to get anything else done. Dillan tops out at 11:70. AVGeek, you are in a chase down. You need 11:71 to take it. Bravo, 7-1.
And it looks like she's setting up for the Tetris, but
needs something. Needs a bar. Gets the bar. Needs another.
Doesn't
get it over. That's it. AVGeek tops out at 10-15. Dillan is good for game number 2.
And goes up 2 games to none.
Very strong 18 play, strong 19 play for Dillan. AVGeek not playing badly at all, but Dillan, just the pace.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff.
2, 1, Tetris.
Mudo saying, Dillan is the closest thing to a DAS player I have left now. What about Salted Sofa?
Yeah, and we just saw it. He took a game off of Dan V, who is... I think like top 20 in the world right now.
Yeah, top 2. Yeah, Dan V currently number 16 according to the Premier poll.
Yeah, which if you guys are not aware is, I think kind of like the new way of judging who is like the top player. People you guys have heard of ELO, but I think a lot of people are starting to trust a lot more of like the player opinions. Like in the Smash community, we have like player opinions on who is the best, and on that sort of like community opinion, Dan V is one of the best players.
Yeah. Dillan had a bit of an early dig he had to take care of. AVGeek took advantage, went up by about a Tetris and a half. So close. Down the bottom, they're trading the lead. They're airing up by a Tetris and change as well. AVGeek, both players at the top getting some long bars to resolve some dependencies. Bars aren't really coming. There's one.
Dillan scores a Tetris. Oh, a little bit of a drought forming for Eren, and he's up high.
Another drought.
Gets the long bar, so it's going to be fine for now.
Ooh, nice adjustment for Doodle for that Z, a long bar Tetris. So drought didn't last all too long.
And, yeah, 230 for Eren right now, 148 for Doodle. So a little bit,
strong pace for Eren.
a little bit slower for Doodle.
Yeah. AVGeek able to open up a bit of a lead here. 214 to 155, though both players smooth sailing at the moment.
Yeah, and this is like this has been the first time that AV has sort of had a little bit of a lead. We've seen Dillan with that like crazy pace, but now it's AV turning on the level 18 game.
Yeah.
And scores another Tetris, going to 263.
Yeah. I'm kidding. Both the rollers here, very, you see a lot of movement from there. AVGeek actually just made it to CTL Div 1, which is really, really cool. Just this past season, CTL being, Kingsman does a great job with Amudus is in chat, the founder of CTL. But yeah, now it's a Kingsman operation, and he does a great job with it. It's been great to watch AVGeek rise to the ranks. Doodle made it to the CTM Futures Finals.
Yes.
Not too long ago. Everyone's over halfway to 19 now. 316 to 337. AVGeek up by less than a Tetris. Down at the bottom, Eren's at 401. Doodle at 317. Eren doing what he needs to do to stay in this set so far.
And actually, a little bit of a note at the top.
Same with AVGeek.
Dylan now actually has the lead just by a little bit in pace.
Pretty much tied up, but
down at the bottom, though, it is a very different story. Eren with a pretty solid lead right now.
Eren is on a bit of a heater.
And looks like he's going to keep up that sort of efficiency. Oh, no, but that is going to hurt him a little bit. It's not...
Yeah, it doesn't get the pieces for the flat burn. I guess you would need a bar or something. But...
Yeah, not fatal, but he's going to have to burn just a little bit. And gets that center well Tetris.
Column 9, that's the hardest to do it because you can't, you need the bar or take a burn in order to get your Tetris ready. 502 for Eren. Setting up those little... Notice people have been setting up those, or kind of on the left side, those little S spins or J dependencies increasingly often lately. Eren up to over 500,000 points. Still quite a ways to go before the transition. So...
Yeah, and over at the top, Dillan has fallen behind a little bit, but AVGeek is burning just a little bit.
Yeah, AVGeek also her turn to have going a really strong pace here.
Yeah. Ahead by around 2 or 3 Tetris. Yeah, 2.5 Tetrises.
Doodle might be in not really trouble. Lombard Tetris got a very dirty one. Gonna get his probably not quite clean, but closer to it. And it's burnt down. Losing a little more pace to Eren, and Eren is absolutely a killer game. Both players are about to transition. Actually, all 4 players are about to transition. AVGeek only 1 line away.
And
2 lines away. Will crack 600K.
And Eren gets that Tetris, going up to 624.
Great game. AVGeek 601, Doodle's 518, and Dillan 564. Everyone's in post.
Yes. So this is gonna be really intense.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah. So kind of game point for both Dillan and Doodle. So Eren and AVGeek. Tournament on the line here. They are both in the lead. Eren significantly leads 6 figures.
Yes, with the 5 Tetris lead right now. 100,000 points ahead. Doodle. Sorry, Doodle's in a little bit of trouble right now. Sets up a long bar defensive, but gets the long bar,
getting
thankfully.
all the bars, yeah. He needed a bunch of bars, getting them, and got the well open, got the long bar, got the Tetris. He should be good to go now.
Yes, but Eren is still just coasting right now. 739 right now.
Yeah.
Now 767.
Big pace for Eren. Up at the top, we have a 180-point game. This is about as close as you can get.
No, but look, Dillan was behind going into transition. Now within a Tetris.
Made up the pace.
What an efficient 19 from Dillan. And AV, again, AV is playing a really good game.
Yeah, I haven't seen her really get into like any sort of extended dig. So she's playing her game. She went out ahead in 18. You know, that's the thing. You know, like Dillan's playing very efficiently, but if you kind of develop a bit of a lead, develop a bit of that cushion, keep yourself in it.
It does look like Dillan is in a bit of a has to burn a little, but also AV has to burn a little too.
Yeah. She cut into that dig. Oh no, Doodle!
It's gonna be
Doodle's
done.
gonna top out at 703.
And Eren is good. Is gonna stay alive in the set.
Exactly. 2-1. Eren, well, just very strong pace for Eren. Doodle had to play aggressively to keep up, and
just wasn't able to keep up at the end.
We're pretty much tied up at the top. 8,000-point difference. AVGeek needs a bar, but it ain't coming. We're in a drought. Drought counter is ticking.
And AV getting up a little bit high.
There's the bar.
Running into a bit of a drought. Maybe not able to use that bar for a Tetris.
Dillan was able to get that bar. The scorer, AVGeek, needed to use it to fix her stack, but now both players are clean.
Dillan gets another Tetris, 952. And another one, 986.
So
AV is also clean, though.
A bit of a lead, 2 Tetrises. But AVGeek still very much in this.
Yes, definitely. And max out for Dillan. Still has 3 Tetrises left to go.
Willie Mr. K asking, how long has AVGeek been around? I don't know her, but she's doing good. Yeah, she's doing very good. She's been in the scene for a while, but she has made some massive improvements lately.
Yeah.
Dillan has maxed out, 1029.
But
and Will
30 over
972
40
is the transition score for AVGeek. She's getting pieces over. Board is high. Needs the bar. Can't get the J over. And that is it. AVGeek tops out at 978.
It was
it's good for game number 3 and the set. Congratulations on moving on.
It was at 48 plus piece drought at the end.
3, 2, 1. Tetris.
I have to go.
All right, T and Square and T will start us off. Alrighty. Eren looking to force a decider here. Had a very strong game 3. We'll need a repeat for game 4. One on the board for both players. So far, so good, but both players have a bit of a flat stack. Not super accommodating. 23-piece drought, another drought. Eren gets that J for the left. Kind of, you don't want your left side to get a little too low. They're still managing to get another super long drought. Bar will finally come after 38 pieces, and both players did a wonderful job of managing it. Another long bar, another Tetris. Eren fighting his tournament life. It's great seeing both of these players. I have the privilege of, I do a lot of Div 2 streams for CTL, so it's good to see Dillan up on the stage. Is he still there? Maybe we'll be right back. So tight game here so far. So this is going to be a great game here. So speaking of CTL, Eren is actually a Div 1 player as a play since 2022, but still in Div 1 if he were to come back. Players are separated by less than a Tetris, though Eren is ahead when pace is included. So Eren just kind of turning on the pace here. That's what he needs to do. Doodle looking to close this one out. They're taking, yeah, I mean, it's just taking a short break. She'll be right back. We're halfway to transition here. And Meme is back. The people missed you.
Yeah, sorry. I really had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I was trying to be tactful about it. People like, why is Meme gone? Okay, now it's it's like a bio break.
Yeah, like it has been a while. I've drank some water, so
yeah. Another strong start from Eren. Doodle at 300,000 points. Eren 365. Everyone, you see, like, yeah, got a lot of Meme fans in chat. I told you. Hopefully this isn't weird, but like I have a couple of friends who are like really like I've gotten them into watching Tetris. And they like cheer for you in particular. They really want you to win.
Oh my god!
So yeah, we watched like the CTM finals. Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm so flattered. Oh my god! Like, I like always like it always just sort of like surprises me how much people support me. It's just like thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I know it's great. It's great because like we have a lot of like big and different personalities in the scene.
Yeah.
Just like I think one of the great things about it, like I feel like this is a lot of like very nice people at the very top, and they all have
for sure. But enough about us. Right now, Eren looking pretty good. 482 right now. Doodle at 417.
Yeah. So like a medium-sized lead for Eren, I would say. We would love to have it. Need something to the left side, looking to avoid the dig here. Not quite able to do so. The L will come, though.
And actually, a little bit of a fun fact in the chat. It turns out that Eren is Fractal's brother. Thank you for the fun fact, Lucas.
Yeah. Eren might actually be Fractal's 9th roommate.
Yeah. No, but Eren and Fractal are both longtime friends. Both live in around the same area, so always are just able to hang out with each other. And it's really nice to see just sort of that sort of friendship that they have. Like the community is kind of just tight knit. Like a lot of the top players, like they all know each other. They also know like a lot of these like community members who maybe don't have like the spotlight in Tetris, but like it is just really nice to see that like we're so open and inviting to everyone.
Eren will go in with a 591. Doodle will go in at 546. So Eren doing what he needs to do to stick himself in this set, though a bit of a misdrop with that J.
Gets that L all the way over, just
that
barely.
That triple was crucial and got a Lombard, got a Tetris. Good job surviving that.
And he's just like, oh my, he's just like, thank God. Like,
Doodle also in a dig. Not as dangerous, but has to put a little bit of elbow grease into those rolls. Yeah, but speaking of those kind of classic Tetris like deep friendships, we saw, I feel like seeing Scooty and Cole is another really big one.
Yeah.
It's fun seeing. They were quality next to each other.
And
they're like cheering each other on. It's really good to see.
Yeah, no, like this whole community is just like we all just like love each other, and it's just really nice that like it's just such a community that's so open and inviting. Like you don't see that a lot, I think, with like gaming communities. You often hear about like toxicity, like racism, misogyny, etc. But
very welcoming community.
Here, like we just like, we all love Tetris. We all support each other. And it's just like really nice.
Totally. Smooth sailing for both players. At the moment, Eren's still up 74,000 points, 787 to 712. Unsponsored Geek in chat highlighting a message. The scene that celebrates itself. Yeah. I mean, it is a great scene. I don't know how many shoegaze musicians we have, but
yeah. And actually, back out down at the bottom, Doodle.
Yeah, Doodle Lombard dependency. I have to get a resolve, but the bar ain't coming.
Yeah, okay,
There
there's
it
the
is,
bar.
Finally. Took its sweet time, but it came. Eren was able to use that bar to score, though. 880 to 807. We're over halfway to 19.
Eren, with with still the pace advantage, but running into it, both of them running into a little bit of a drought.
Yeah.
Doodle
Both
gets
players-
it first.
Yeah, both players handle it very well. We're into level 26 now, 920 to 876. So,
But actually, it's kind of close now.
yeah, it's like Doodle has tightened
Oh,
it
no.
up. A bit of a mischief from Eren.
Gets the long bar over, thank God.
Still
But,
has a lead, but Doodle is clean. Nice flat burn.
and this is not what Eren wants before.
He will get the bar, needs another. That will come.
And
We're into level 28 now. Transition is looming. Lombard Tetris Doodle, 968, and is almost completely eradicated this lead. Both players at Tetris into transition. Both players are clean. Doodle goes in with a max out, 1004. Eren's going to go with a max out,
double
1013.
max out.
And we got ourselves a 29 battle. Let's see what Eren can do with the tapping.
Wait, and he set up for the
He's
Tetris.
set up, needs the bar. The bar is not coming. Where is the bar? He's not going to be able to
Doesn't
survive
get it,
the drought.
but
Eren
Doodle-
goes on 1018. Doodle not be able to chase it down. Eren will end this one by 1,500 points. We're goaded to decider. GG's. Players are ready. Let's count them down for the decider. In 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And here we go.
The last game of the set. Wow. What a finish in the last game yet again. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It could not have been closer.
Yeah. Eren threatening the reverse sweep here. Doodle kind of went out to an early advantage, has the playstyle advantage. Can probably get a little bit more done on 29, but Eren showing he has some 29 chops, showing he can get a Tetris or 2 or 3 or 4 on the kill screen, and showing just how efficient he can be
Yeah.
in 18 and 19.
And that was what, yeah, Eren being able to play more efficiently, pulling ahead in those last few games, that is how he is able to take it to a game number 5. And so we'll have to see if Eren can use that again to pull out ahead in one more game.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're excited, but I'm excited.
I am, yes. This is insane. Oh my
It's
God.
a long day for comment. You know, I'm commentating, I'm judging, hoping from one place to another. But like, you know, games like that are just like keep you going.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Angelica pointing out if Eren takes this one, we'll have 2 tappers in round 1. So Dillan, of course, not a stranger to making deep runs as a tapper, but Eren,
Uh-huh.
also not a stranger to making deep runs as a tapper.
Yeah.
It did win. Yeah, it did make it to the top 23 last year.
So, kind of proving that, like, tapping isn't dead.
Ren saying, we need longer necks in Tetris. Let's go find some giraffes to do some commentary, I think.
Yeah.
Some players.
Yeah, we need like Alex Kerr and like Jeff back in gold bracket.
Yeah, exactly. Both wonderful players, but Alex Kerr we saw yesterday he organized the CGM4 Tetris Grandmasters 4. Very, very fun events. I didn't really know what to expect. I'm not really a modern player,
Yeah.
but I had a
yeah.
good time. I was up there judging it and kind of had a good time watching it. I
Yeah.
didn't really do much other than make sure the players were ready.
Yeah, it's been a long time since another TGM game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's really nice to see that
Yeah.
they've like been able to make another game that is also. I haven't personally played it, but I've only heard really good things about it. So
we're halfway to 19 now. Eren has developed a 2.5 Tetris lead, so another medium-sized lead for him, 315 to 257. So he's doing what he needs to do to kind of set up the reverse sweep. Doodle, though, still very much in it. The left side, kind of iffy, has a lombard dependency, and it's very low.
getting those pieces to the left.
Kind of had those like Sharpie style hyper jolts, but not what's happening.
Oh, no,
he's in some trouble. Nice triple, reopens the well.
Needs a bar right now.
Would love a bar. Probably not in any danger now. Has been keeping his stack down.
But he's falling
there it is,
farther.
Lombard triple, and now he is cleaner, shaking his head because Eren did use it to take one up like another couple of Tetrises.
Yeah,
Lombard
falling.
Tetris now 8-figure lead. Sorry, 6-figure lead. 8-figure lead would be a little ridiculous. 6-figure lead for Eren, 387 to 278.
Yeah, that one dig, and Eren is just able to keep pulling. It's like pull ahead more and more with the crazy efficiency right here. 432 for Eren, 288. Oh no, Doodle misses the J over to the left.
Not really any danger, but this is going to result in a little more pace lost.
Yeah, which definitely not what he wants here.
Yeah.
Far behind by 100,000 points right now.
Getting himself not quite set up. There'll be a triple if he gets a bar down there. We're over 100 lines in now. 464 to 317. There
That
it
is a triple.
Finally gets the triple. Not going to set up, going to play it safe, going to keep himself in this one.
Doodle just...
Speaking of Ren, kind of, oh yeah, that's the sponsor. I forgot to, we can do a sponsor read, but talking about that. I was just talking about the game because it was happening yesterday and it was fun. But, Doodle, right side, couldn't get pieces there. Does get the double.
This is...
121 lines in. So he will transition soon.
This is not a good place for Doodle to be.
Yeah, in the meantime, Eren's just developing his lead more and more. 536 to 340. Eren's now into transition. Doodle goes in with a 532, not getting the graces of pieces. Finally gets a bar for that. Left side would love another. The J's even better.
And finally is clean, but Eren has a almost 200,000 point lead right now.
Bar dependency for Doodle, not great during a drought. Doesn't get that J over, but the bar will finally come. It's only a single.
That board is just getting higher and higher.
Yeah, it's a bit Swiss cheesy. So Eren, 575, has only scored a Tetris 2 in post, but there we go. Doodle, column 2 Tetris, gets out of the dig.
Yeah, what a relief from Doodle, but Doodle is so far behind right now.
He's going to hang out one off the bottom, column 1.
No, but look.
Eren's
Eren
in some trouble now.
Okay, is able to get that L over to the left.
Another drought. There it is, Lombard Tetris for Doodle. Eren not quite able to take advantage, so Doodle just little by little chipping into that lead, down to 150,000 points. It was about 200 at some point.
But Eren,
though, still formidable lead here.
Yeah, Eren scores another Tetris, so still with a pretty comfortable lead, but this is Doodle's chance to maybe try and crawl back a little.
Yeah, both players now clean.
649 for Eren, 462 for Doodle.
Doodle, that kind of the suffer game in 18, particularly late in 18, kind of, maybe not exactly putting Doodle in a great position, but he still could very much take it, gets a bar exactly when he needs it, gets an S to open up his well. Taking some great burns, but doesn't quite get that L all the way over. Lombard dependency, column 1. So we'll take a few more burns.
And gets another Tetris.
Yeah, we're not really able to avoid the dig here. Can still get out of it relatively efficiently. Now we have 200,000 point lead for Eren.
But that is another dig that...
Yeah.
Oh no, but Eren too. Those pieces are not great right now.
Both players looking like they're going to get out of it soon. But Eren's still 200,000 point lead. Doodle is set up. Lombard Tetris does have a hole in his stack, so he will do a little bit of cleanup duty here. Eren's still digging. As we get into the back half of post, if players can get clean here, they can, those late posts very much able to swing things quite a bit. Lombard Tetris for Eren. Doodle looking for a bar for a triple. There it is, 2 off the bottom.
631 for Doodle, 804 for Eren. A 200,000 point lead right now.
Doodle trying to push it, 3 off the bottom. Playing somewhat aggressively, but the bar ain't coming. There it is, finally. He has closed the gap a little bit, but transition is looming. Only 1 Tetris away, so he will burn himself down. 679 is the transition score for a Doodle. So we will need a significant amount of kill stream play here. 915 is Eren's transition score. So Eren will try to stay alive here in 29. Might line things out depending on how things go.
And misses the bar, though.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get the bar over. That left side can be an issue for him.
And
Doodle up 700,000 points.
Yeah, Eren's going to be done at 9:30.
Eren will top out at 9:30, but Doodle's stuck now looking great. He's not going to be able to get it done.
And
Eren's
Eren,
good for game number 5 and the reverse sweep. He will be moving on to round 1, I guess I should say. Great set.
yeah,
GG's.
what a whole set.
That was phenomenal.
Hello everyone, it's your favorite underwater host Sharky here. Wanted to say hope you all enjoyed the matches. We're at the end of the video, so you know what that means. It's time for another lore drop, and hopefully this time I remember to edit on the correct one. Anyways, we're going to be talking about Eric versus Tetris Time first. Eric debuted as a crazy hyper-tapper competitively in 2019, first qualifying for the Challengers bracket in October, and then making a Masters debut the next month. Although Eric would experience early exits in these first few tournaments, 2020 would be the year that Eric would start making some strides. Eric would appear in the Masters event 8 separate times, with a second place placement in May against Joseph and a first place win in August. That year, Eric would also make the gold bracket in CTWC and would place top 24 after being knocked out of the bracket by Jonas Neubauer. 2021 would see more high placements with 9 master appearances, again with top 4 placements in February, January, and August, and a second place finish in July. Eric would qual again for the gold bracket in 2021, but would place top 32. 2022 would be Eric's biggest year with 8 master appearances, would also place second in the WPO championship that year, losing in a decider to Huff. But the crown jewel would come in at CTWC, when Eric would win CTWC 2022 against Fractal in the no cap era. 2023, Eric would slow down with 5 master appearances and a top 4 placement in February and May, with a finalist placement in June, losing to Gerald in a decider. Eric would also place top 4 in the WPO Championship and the Blank Garage Regional. However, CTWC in 2023 would see Eric being upset in round 0 by Costner. 2024 would see almost no competitive activity, with just a Mega Masters appearance and a showing at CTWC 2024 where Eric would place top 32. With no events attended in 2025 and Eric mainly focusing on helping behind the scenes, it's a bit of an open question to how much progress in the bracket can be made. Eric's opponent, Tetris Time, however, has been on quite an interesting ride recently. Tetris Time would debut in 2020 in the Classic Tetris Brawl event in June. Later that year, he would qualify for the 2020 World Championship but placed top 48. 2021 would be a breakout year for Tetris Time. Not only would Tetris Time end up winning a CTM Challengers event in May of 2021, but Tetris Time would also debut in Masters in May and would place top 4 in the WPO Classic Tetris Open 7 and 9. But the crowning achievement that year was a top 8 placement in CTWC that year, defeating Fractal not once, but twice in order to secure that spot. 2022 would be a bit of a struggle year for Tetris Time, with a Masters appearance in February, but mainly Challenger and future appearances. CTWC, Tetris Time would see a round 0 exit to Derby. 2023 would be a bit of a stronger showing with a Challengers win in June, a Mega Masters showing, and a Masters appearance in August. CTWC would fare a little bit better and Tetris Time would place top 32, going out to one of the finalists that year, Sidnev. 2024 Tetris Time would get a tough draw in round 0 with a round 0 opponent of Pixel Andy, which didn't fare well for him. But this year, Tetris Time is coming in with crazy levels of momentum, winning 3 regionals back-to-back, now rolling and starting to have more appearances in the expanded Masters bracket. The match between him and Eric is definitely going to be one to watch. Now, we're going to talk about one of our newer players here that is making a debut, Shake. Shake is actually a newer player to competitive Tetris, so I wasn't able to find that much on them, but for what I could find, the bulk of their competitive matches have come within the past 8 months, with a debut in the Futures event in November. Shake would place top 8, defeating Mari in round 1. It's just for you, Mari. In 2025, Shake would also place top 8 in the Futures tournament in January, and Shake would also appear at the 2 Boston 2 parody event. Shake making the gold bracket for the first time means that there's a clean slate and a chance to impress on the biggest stage we have. Bindi, in contrast to Shake, actually has a decent amount of history, but not like Eren or Tetris time. Bindi would make a competitive debut in the Futures tournament in September of 2022, but that was mostly it. 2023 saw more competitive play with an appearance in Challengers, a top 4 Futures in May, and a first place finals or finish in Hopefuls in September. Bindi would make his CTWC debut that year, but would make the silver bracket and finish top 8. 2024 was a big year for Bindi, with qualifying for Mega Masters and then shortly after winning the CTWC silver bracket against Tetris in a sweep. 2025 would see mostly play in Daz Masters, so there really isn't anything that I could kind of share with you on that front, but it's only fitting that Bindi would make the gold bracket after winning the silver bracket last year. So this match, with not a lot about the two players, there's a chance for them to write their own stories. That's going to do it for today's lore drop. There is a bit of interesting things for this upcoming match. Obviously, you have your former world champion Eric going up against Tetris Time, who's been in the top 8 before, and then you have 2 players that are making it into the gold bracket for the first time. So, definitely going to be interesting. Make sure to like the video if you did like it, comment down what you think of the matches that were played today and the matches to come, and of course, check out the merch store for this year's CTWC merch. I'm your favorite underwater host Sharky, and I'll see you in the next match for CTWC 2025.